Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I intend to give an analytical, but short and sweet analysis of Meg Thomas and how to get the most out of her particular perks and qualities. Hopefully this video is helpful to players of all skill levels, if not only as an entertaining refresher for those advanced with not only the game but Meg's specific teachable perks. Let's start by discussing Meg's physical traits. Off the bat, Meg has a few traits in her favor. Despite having red hair, Meg does have the ability to blend in with her environment on par or better than average, depending on the cosmetic selected, and also because she has an average size, height, and athletic frame, making her not stick out like a sore thumb. Additionally, Meg makes very little noise when healthy. Her one downfall is that while she's wounded, Meg does tend to be quite loud, so just keep that in mind. So let's move on to perks. Being the first video I've made that assesses perks, I may use some terminology that's unfamiliar, either due to you being new or me making up words. Either way, I'll be sure to clarify. Let's start by looking at Meg's teachables: Adrenaline, Sprint Burst, and Quick and Quiet. Meg's build technically includes 2 exhaustion perks, but Adrenaline's built different. Now, with that out of the way, let's start with the easiest to cover, Quick and Quiet. Quick and Quiet has the effect you do not make as much noise as others when quickly vaulting over obstacles or hiding in lockers. Suppresses both the loud noise notification and the sound effects triggered by rushing to vault windows or rushing to enter or exit lockers. Quick and Quiet has a cooldown of 30, 25, or 20 seconds depending on the level of the perk. This perk actually falls under a Deception perk, as not notifying the killer you hop in a locker or vault a particular window could win you escape in the chase. I find this perk to be less useful when wounded, as you still make noise and your blood can still be tracked in addition to scratch marks. This perk is best used when healthy or when trekking tools are limited via the use of Iron Will or Lucky Break. This perk partners well with any other perks that get locker utility, like Head On, Inner Healing, Inner Strength, and Built to Last, in addition to Windows of Opportunity and Leap on the window and drop pallet side. All in all, this perk is either very helpful or very useless depending on the situation, but I would rate it as strong for beginners and weak for veterans. If Meg is your first ever character, you could certainly have less utility in that perk slot. Next up is Sprint Burst, the more traditional of her 2 exhaustion perks. Sprint Burst's effect is, when starting to run, break into a sprint at 150% of your normal running movement speed for 3 seconds. Sprint Burst causes the Exhausted status effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds depending on the level. Sprint Burst cannot be used while exhausted. See if you can catch up, Meg Thomas. Sprint Burst is one of those perks that can be described as easy to learn but difficult to master. Its effect is super simple and it's very easy to get value out of it. Picture that you're working on a generator and the killer is approaching. Sprint Burst can give you a lot of ground to clear the gen's area and allow your team to continue working and give you lots of ground to get to a loop before even taking a hit. Sprint Burst is also useful for utility if you need to get somewhere in a hurry, like a hook rescue, for example. What makes Sprint Burst special is its deceptively high skill ceiling. This perk can be a lot more than Click Sprint and Profit. Popular uses of this perk include what's called 99ing your exhaustion timer, similar to the way you would 99 an exit gate. You do this by continuing to sprint right as you're about to recover from exhaustion. It allows you to sprint regularly and not waste your Sprint Burst when you don't need to. You can be in a chase, get a pallet stun, stop for a second, and then Sprint Burst away, making the killer waste even more time on you or give you an escape. You can 99 before a hook rescue and make a quick getaway after a save. You're only limited by your own ability to delay that recovery and keep it close. It's easily arguable that Sprint Burst is the single best standard exhaustion perk in the game. It doesn't require you to be injured like Dead Hard and Overcome. It doesn't require specific map elements like Leap or Balanced Landing. Out of all traditional exhaustion perks, this may be the best for veterans, but takes a little bit of practice for beginners to get full value out of. Regardless, Sprint Burst is one of the best perks in the game for survivors. In terms of synergy, you should avoid other exhaustion perks outside of Adrenaline. Outside of that, Sprint Burst is a solid choice in any build that doesn't bank on a specific exhaustion perk not called Sprint Burst. Finally, the last unique Meg Thomas perk is Adrenaline. Adrenaline has the effect you are fueled by unexpected energy when on the verge of escape. Once the exit gates are powered, instantly heal 1 health state and sprint at 150% your normal running movement speed for 5 seconds. Adrenaline is on hold if you are disabled at the moment, and it triggers and will activate upon being freed. If you are playing against the Nightmare, Adrenaline will make you wake from the dream world upon activation. Adrenaline ignores an existing exhaustion timer, but causes the exhausted status effect for 60, 50, or 40 seconds, depending on Adrenaline's level. Adrenaline is the biggest hit or miss perk in the entire game. On one match, you might be healthy and not exhausted, and it just forces you to use your sprint burst and be exhausted. On the other hand, it can give you an extra health state, give you your sprint burst mid-chase, and give you that extra push to make it to a gate that hopefully your team is open. This perk has won me games before in ways no other perk could have. Adrenaline's potential makes it one of the strongest perks in the game. However, you have to survive to the exit gates and be hurt and exhausted in a chase to get full value. So how should you view Adrenaline? The short answer is that this perk is scary good. If you look at it from a killer's perspective, they may lose a dead on hook, injured, exhausted survivor because of one perk. The clutch potential of this perk is wild. Adrenaline can really be crammed onto any build. It doesn't technically interfere with an exhaustion perk like other exhaustion perks, and it doesn't really step on the shoes of any other perk. Run it with Hope for a true in-game sprinter. Other cool perks that may benefit from the instant heal given by Adrenaline include For the People for those last minute saves. The only perk that probably doesn't go all that great with Adrenaline is No Mither, but it goes without saying you probably shouldn't run that unless you have a very specific build or a Death Wish, but I'll get to that in another video. So what does this mean for Meg's build? The simple answer is that Meg may have the single best out-of-the-box build of any character. Hitting level 5 and equipping Sprint Burst and Adrenaline can be a top-level build on its own. In this section of the video, my goal is to give you perks that can be used in addition to Meg's perks to make good, or fun, or maybe both, builds. Off the bat, Meg is really only missing one thing: information and aura perks. Common perks that are not teachables fill out the slot nicely for Meg, especially Kindred and Spine Chill. Kindred allows Meg to see if the killer is close or if they put down traps, and to know if it's safe to sprint over there if they need a quick save. Spine Chill, alternatively, will help Meg know if it's about time to run when it activates. This is more helpful if your build is focused more on generators than saving. In terms of protection, other perks to run include Borrowed Time or Unbreakable. Borrowed Time can really get the hero factor out of Sprint Burst, and Unbreakable is a more consistent dying recovery without the exit gates. So here are some build suggestions that I've come up with, and all of them use at least 2 of Meg's perks to stay to the theme. So the first build I recommend is the No Teachables build. Uses all 3 of her perks: Sprint Burst, Adrenaline, Quick and Quiet, and either Kindred or Spine Chill, whichever one of those aura perks you prefer. Personally, I prefer Kindred in most games because I value being able to view where the killer is off the hook. My first standard build, which is more altruism oriented, I recommend Sprint Burst, Adrenaline, Borrowed Time, and Kindred. The second standard build is more generator focused. I recommend Sprint Burst, Adrenaline, Spine Chill, and Prove Thyself, a teachable from Dwight. And then I have 2 fun builds. My first fun build is the Locker Warrior, which has Adrenaline, Quick and Quiet, Decisive Strike, and Head On. There's a very neat trick you can do with this build, where if you get off the hook and the killer is tunneling you, you can run and hop in a locker. You could lose them right off the gate with Quick and Quiet, but if that fails, they'll pick you up out of the locker, eat a Decisive, and then you can hop back in the locker. When they recover from that stun them again with Head On, and then run. You can keep a killer stunned for like almost 10 seconds with this. It's very funny, it's very fun to put in a montage, and if you've never done it before, it's actually quite fun, and I highly recommend it. And my last fun build is my Race to the Finish build. So this build utilizes Adrenaline, Sprint Burst, and Hope as the primary 3 perks. Adrenaline and Hope can combine at the end of the game to give you almost a 160% sprint speed. And you'll carry that 7% extra sprint speed from Hope there closer to the end. That last perk slot is really up to you. If you value information, again, Kindred and Spine Shield or Bond from Dwight make excellent perks. But you could also run Unbreakable or Borrowed Time for some more utility. My reasoning for selecting Meg to do this video first is the same way I think players should. I think players should probably start with Meg out of any other survivor in the game. She has the best tools out of the gate for a great build that will hold strong even without other teachables. And you can continue to use Meg to grow your survivor count and unlock more perks. If you want something strong and fast, you shouldn't pick anyone other than Meg. Well, I hope you found this video helpful and or entertaining. And if you like what you see, consider liking the video and subscribing for more. I upload content ranging from videos like this to short, meme-ridden montages. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Take care, and thank you.